Hello everyone, my name is Burton with Loving Me First, and I am here at the Truth Corner. And today my session is We've Only Just Begun. In high school, I met my high school sweetheart. That's what you want to call him. I was 14 years old, he was 15. We met through a mutual friend. I had a friend of mine, we went to high school together, and she went on to another school where she found this guy that she was with who turned into her high school sweetheart, and he had a friend. You guys or girls know how it is. You want to always talk to your friends. Your boyfriend may want to talk to his friends, may want to talk to you, or y'all know what I'm talking about, right? So basically, it was my friend's boyfriend had two friends actually that wanted to talk to me, or told her, hey, find somebody to talk to, and so that I could talk to. So she chose me, and I had two boys to choose from. So I thought that was real cool, and so I was like, okay, cool, two guys want to talk to me, but I didn't know which one. So I had two choices. I never named names, so don't worry about who it is. So anyway, one of the guys, I was like, he's cute, he's okay, we'll see. The other guy, he was just like really on me. He kept asking my friend about me. He seen a picture of me, and so he was like, yeah, I gotta talk to her. So I was like, okay, well, he seemed like he really trying to get with me. So I was excited again, 14 years old, just entering in high school, ninth grade, and it was just exciting, you know. And so he called me, and finally we talked. We talked on the phone for a couple of days, and then he finally asked to come over to see me. And so I said, sure. We seen each other. It was March 27th. He came over in 1992. He came over to my house, and we met outside. And I remember him walking up to the door. I had on all purple. Matter of fact, what I do remember is his mom had a brown van, and I looked out of my window. We were on the second floor in an apartment. I remember looking out the kitchen window, and I was like, oh my gosh, he's here, he's here. I got so nervous. He was looking real nice. He had on his t-shirt and his jeans that he always wears. He had earrings in his ear, fresh cut, just looking real nice, curly top, because he always kept his hair just right, dark skin. And so I was like, okay, I guess I done hit the jackpot with this one. So anyway, he walks up, he knocks on the door. My heart is beating out of my chest. I'm so nervous. And I had on all purple this day, because purple is my favorite color. So I had on a purple, I had on purple Vans, purple jeans, fitted jeans. I had on a purple shirt, and I also had a purple jacket just in case it got cold. So I had on all this purple, right? And so he knocks on the door, and I open the door, and the first thing he says is, you look better in your picture. I was like, oh, okay. And then he started laughing. I didn't know what to do, so I started laughing too. And he's like, I'm just playing. So I was like, oh, okay. So that stuck with me. It stuck with me, but I didn't think nothing of it. I thought that was just a way of him breaking the ice. So we went on with it. We sat outside, and we talked and we talked and we talked for a couple of hours. He wasn't allowed inside because my mom didn't allow guys inside the house. And even though they were there, I had to be very careful of who I was around. And with me being in a church, my mom definitely didn't want me to talk to somebody that wasn't saved, somebody that wasn't a believer like I am. And so I had some strict rules. My parents were, I would say more my mom than my dad. My mom really didn't want to see me in a relationship at a young age, so he was always just a friend. And so we went outside, like I said, we talked for hours, and it was good. Like, it was really, really good. We had really good conversation. I felt like we had really good chemistry too. We just talked about life, and at 14 years old, you feel like, oh gosh, this is like great. We're having these conversations. Well, one thing I do remember is that my friend would tell me about him, and I remember before we met up, she said, I'm just gonna let you know, because one thing about me, I'll be honest with you, I like a good thuggish, ruggish guy. I don't want to square. I'll be honest with you, that's just who I am. I gotta know that he's protecting me and I'm not protecting him. So that was very important. Not that he had to be like a gangster, but I just wanted him, and not a thug, I shouldn't even say that, but I just wanted him to be just strong in who he was, like not scared, not, protective of me. And so she told me a little bit about his background. She also told me that he drunk. He was a drinker, I should say, and that he smoked. He smoked cigarettes, and he smoked weed. So I was like, oh, okay, it's whatever. But he was in shape. He was fit. I don't even look at guys like that, but he was fit. He was real cute. He had it going on. I'll give it to him, okay? He wasn't all tall and all that, but it didn't matter to me. Size wasn't a big deal for me. He was just a nice looking fit guy. But I looked past that. I was like, oh, okay, whatever. But at the same time, I thought it was cool. Why did I think it was cool? Somebody smoking cigarettes at the age of 15 years old, drinking, I thought that was cool. But that's just when you're young and you're trying to be with somebody. It's just, that kind of stuff is cool. And so to fast forward back to us kind of getting together, like I said, we had our conversations. He went home, and I remember when he got home, he's like, I'm gonna call you. And I was like, okay, cool. So he called me. I couldn't wait for him to call me. I'm just so excited, sitting by the door, and by the phone, I should say. And then I had a curfew. I had to get off the phone, I think at like 9:30. Kids ain't got curfews these days. They don't even know what that word means. Not in my house anyway, but I had a curfew of like 9:30, and he called me as soon as he got home, and we had a conversation. And I remember he asked me, will I go with him? That was the thing. Will you go with me? Will you be my girl? So I was like, yeah, I'll be your girl. And so that was that. So 1992 was when things had just begun for us. So we dated, and we dated all throughout high school. Definitely was different for me, because a lot of people don't know, him and I didn't kiss for months, literally. And so I was like, yeah, so what's that about? I mean, I'm not having sex. At least let me kiss, do something. And I couldn't even get that, because he was like, I'm not even into doing all that. But see, I knew he was sexually active. So I was like, how do you become sexually active with somebody but you don't kiss them? So I thought that was kind of strange to me. It was just weird to me. And not that I wanted to go there with him, but I just thought it was strange that he didn't do that. So I looked at that and I was like, oh, okay, whatever. But at the same time, I felt rejected, because I'm trying to figure out, you hugging on me, you touching on me, you in my face, I'm sitting on your lap, but that's it. Like, that's it. Like, what, isn't there some kind of affection that happens? But him and I became friends. Honestly, we did. We became friends. So I just said, whatever. Maybe that's just not where God wanted us to be. You know how we try to rationalize things, because it just seems like if we make sense of it, we got to make sense of things. It'll feel right to us. And that's what happened. So one day we were outside and we were play fighting. And we were having just downstairs, just doing what we do, play fighting. We had two areas that we were in mainly, which we were, because I was on the top floor, it had stairs, and we would either sit under the staircase, because the way the apartment was set up, there was a house in front, and there were approximately, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there were about 6 other apartments that was around it. So we would go under where my mom couldn't see me, because she wouldn't dare see me sitting on his lap, or we would go to the front on the ladies' step stool, the porch, or what have you, and sit there. And that's when we had our time. And I say all that to say that we decided to go in the driveway area, which wasn't huge, but it was big enough to fit a couple of cars. So we went in the drive-through area where we were just talking, and then we were just playing. And all of a sudden we're playing, and we are now play fighting. And so my mom looks out the door and she's like, Kama, and she calls me up, and I'm like, what? And she tells me to get upstairs, and she's like, what are you doing? I said, well, we're just play fighting. She was like, no, you don't play fight. And I was like, why? She was like, I seen something in his eyes. He was not playing with you. He was coming after you. I was like, Mom, you're tripping. That ain't what it is. I don't want to see you play fight. And I said, okay, fine. Okay. That's fine, whatever. So we stopped, and I didn't see things in the beginning. Those little signs, those little telltale signs that you say oh, I didn't see those red flags. And so just with that alone, my mom seen something that I didn't see because I was so stuck with, or I had this feeling of just being in love that I had my love shades on. I couldn't see anything else. And so I just kept pushing from there. I let the play fighting go. And I realized that at that point that I better listen to my mom. For what? I didn't know, but I knew that I had to be obedient. So I'm not a big person when it comes to play fighting. I believe that you need to be very careful because you need to watch what other people do. Watch their actions, because their actions is going to speak louder than their words. And that's my truth.